Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bitch Factor. I wanted to explain why I named the podcast The Bitch Factor. I named the podcast The Bitch Factor because, um, you know, nowadays that word is an endearment amongst the community. Um, and so I thought it was catchy. And also, now we say it a lot to each other because, oh, you that bitch, you this, you that. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to call it because I feel like I am that girl, okay? Just like you should feel like you are that girl. So that's why I called it the bitch factor. But anyway, on a serious note, I wanted to make my first episode of this podcast about the things that we go through as women with our reproductive organs, as far as our ovaries, our uterus, our cervix, dealing with our menopause, menstrual, um, dealing with menopause, and our menstrual. And on September the 27th of this year, made a year for me that I had laparoscopic surgery for I had to get a full hysterectomy due to me having fibroids, and I thought that this would be a perfect month to discuss that because we have different cancer awareness this month for September, and also for October we have breast cancer awareness. So I just thought that this would be a perfect topic to discuss. Um, and also maybe it will help someone, educate someone. I feel like there should be another topic as well. This is a part one um, with my story, and then I'm thinking about doing a part two with other people in general on the podcast to discuss and different things. So starting with when I first started my menstrual, I was in middle school, and also I noticed that from that time to now, it was hell as far as constantly the bleeding was ridiculous. Okay, let's go there. And cramping and different things like that we deal with. So fast forward to 2012. I had went to the doctors and I had told the doctors that I feel like something is wrong. My cycle is coming on earlier than normal. I normally kept track of my cycle. Never missed the cycle other than when I found out I was pregnant with each one of my sons. So that, me knowing my body, made me like, okay, go to the doctors. Something ain't right. So went to the doctors, told her that I feel like something is going on. I told her that I wanted to get an ultrasound. She said she didn't see anything, didn't feel anything more so when she checked me. So, got an ultrasound done. I had fibroids. They was 3 centimeters. I had two of them, and they was 3 centimeters. So, as time went on, um, it was more of, okay, we're going to put you on birth control. We're going to give you the IUD. I got on the birth control. I had bad headaches. I told them that's not working. Told me they would put me on the IUD. I told them I did not want to get on the IUD, but I went on and did it because I was like, something got to give with the bleeding. So I did the IUD. Worst mistake ever. I I dealt with it for a whole year. And then I went, made an appointment, and told them this got to come out. And so they was like, well, we got to discuss other alternatives. And so I told them, I said, I'm just going to deal with it, you know, just deal with it. I don't want anything. And that's what I've been doing until I started working at a new job in 2022. And I needed to get new health insurance. So I was debating on whether to just pay out of pocket or with the new company go to Kaiser. Okay. So I asked people about the insurance, how they like it. Some people didn't like it, some people did. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and just get the insurance. So that means I had to switch doctors and everything, which I really loved my doctor. Um, excuse me. So I ended up switching doctors because I ended up going with the company insurance, which was Kaiser, and loved it. Loved that I could go in a facility to this doctor's office, and if I needed to go to another doctor's office, I could do that within the building. So anyway, my first appointment, I told them that I was dealing with fibroids. They set me up to go see the GYN doctor, and I eventually had an appointment to go see the GYN doctor. Um, and they did, I got an ultrasound done. And then I ended up having to go back and get a biopsy. My ultrasound showed that my fibroids had grown tremendously. And I thought so because I was starting to have a lot of pain. Not necessarily when my cycle was on, but I was having pain. And also my iron levels was lower than normal. I always was eating ice, but I really was eating ice now. Like that was my water intake. That's how bad it was. So anyway, they set me up to go get iron infusions. I had to get 5 iron infusions. The doctor decided that I was going to have to get a hysterectomy because he said that by me bleeding so much and my iron was so low, and I did not know this, that when your iron is low, like when you're anemic and stuff like that, it wears on your heart. I did not know that. So that scared me. That really, really scared me. So I ended up having to get 5 iron infusions before they would schedule me to have surgery. And so what they did was they gave me a medication to put me in temporary menopause. And I have a brain freeze. I can't think of the name of the medication, but it put me in a temporary menopause, which that wasn't no joke. The hot flashes was ridiculous, but I'm thankful because it helped. So I had to get from March to June. I had got 5 iron infusions in last year. From March to June, I got 5 iron infusions. And from March to September, I had to get 2 injections to go in temporary menopause. They set my appointment up for September the 27th. So it was every 3 months I had to get the shot. So 2 times I got the shot to put me in temporary menopause. So I had the surgery on the 27th of September. They did a laparoscopic hysterectomy surgery, okay? Everything is removed. I just have my ovaries, right? The recovery was fine. Everything was fine. Went back for my follow-up appointment. The doctor told me that when they did my biopsy, which I had to get a biopsy, I got an ultrasound and a biopsy because the fibroids was on the inside and the outside of my uterus. I had three. And when they did the ultrasound, they could not even see one of my ovaries because the fibroid was covering it. So anyway, when I got the biopsy, to my uterus was 20 weeks pregnant. That's how my uterus size was. It was 20 weeks like I was pregnant, okay? So 20 weeks like I'm pregnant. So when they did the when they did the biopsy, she could not, the metal thing that they put up there to scrape couldn't even touch the top of my uterus, okay? I was in pain. It is painful. Some people say it's not painful, but it was painful to me. So they really didn't get a good sample for the biopsy, but what they did get, everything seemed to be fine. So anyway, once I got the surgery done, and as I said, I had my surgery and went back to my follow-up appointment, and the doctor was like, Miss Graham, everything is fine. Everything was fine, and we cut everything up and sent it to the lab and everything. But I'm like, but there was a poly, which they thought was a thyroid. It was a poly on the inside of my uterus. And because it was at the top, they did not get no sample off of that. And it was precancerous cells. Did y'all hear me? It was precancerous cells. So she said to me, and I thank God, she said to me, if they had been able to get sample of that, I would not have been able to get the surgery. I would not have been able to get the surgery, and they would have had to reevaluate and do whatever. So I'm so glad that they was not able, okay, to get anything off of that, and was able to do the surgery. Nothing spread because it was inside my uterus, and they was taking the whole uterus. So I was so scared up to my surgery, and I think that would have been even more. So I say this to say, women, we as women, be an advocate for yourself, okay? Make sure that you are going to the doctors, okay? Because I think about it, and it could be a different outcome for me. I try not to think about it, but I do think about it. So, women, please, please make sure you are getting the correct things that you need. If you feel anything out of the norm, go to the doctors just to be safe. Just to be safe. And I'm going to be honest, I had put off, before I switched doctors, I had been putting off like, my fibroid's growing, not even thinking that anything could end up being cancerous. Never thought it. Never thought it. Now the only thing I'm worried about is that I still have my ovaries. So that's something else, which I'm not going to worry myself about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, just make sure that y'all get the proper care, and make sure that you go to the doctors when you're supposed to. Your yearly physical for whatever it may be, GYN, or just a regular physical. It don't matter. Just go. And I think what I'm going to do is I want to do a part 2 of this with not just me, but with other women to discuss this topic. But I just felt it on my heart that I needed to discuss this, tell my story, because I did not realize so many women is dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with, or worse than what I was dealing with. And now they had to end up getting a hysterectomy. And some women, it's hard for them to hear that they have to get a hysterectomy because some women probably feel like, oh, I ain't gonna feel like a woman again. You know, I ain't mad. I'd rather be here on this earth. Because when he said that it's a wear and tear on your heart with the way my cycle was, do what you need to do. Because I had already told him when he asked me, before he even told me that I need to get a hysterectomy, I straight told him, I need everything taken out. Like, I am ready for whatever needs to be. You can take everything out. I even said this back in 99 when I had my baby boy and had complications from getting my tubes tied and almost died. Like, why y'all didn't take everything out? They had to go back in. Like, why you didn't take everything out? You know? So even though I'm making light of the situation, but yeah. So I just hope that this encourage you and be blessed.